Due to popular demand, this is another episode of the search for Bigfoot. I'm back out here at the Green Forest and the search continues. So check this out, everyone. This county sheriff's department released a statement years ago, and it said that they had received a phone call from a local in the middle of the night. They saw a creature standing up on two legs that was over 7 foot tall, and it was covered in hair. And you can actually see claw marks right through here. My friends, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. As you all can hear, we have thunder. I've been standing out here for about 5 minutes just listening to the storm. That way I could get a good idea of like where the cell is at and where it's going. So as it stands now, it's 2 hours west and it's moving northeast. I think it's going to miss us. Due to popular demand, this is another episode of the search for Bigfoot. I'm back out here at the Green Forest and the search continues. In the previous episode, which I highly recommend that you watch, we came out here to the Green Forest, we did some exploring, and we came across some interesting signs in the forest. None that pointed towards Bigfoot, but rather a large black bear. If you didn't watch that episode, I highly recommend that you do. That way you get an idea of what this episode, what this series is about. This is a viewer requested series and I'm happy to do it. As I mentioned in the first episode, I am a Bigfoot skeptic, but there's many of you all who aren't, who firmly believe in it. Just to rehash everything, I've been coming to this area for numerous years. This is literally out in the middle of nowhere. This is what I call a secret gem. This is my secret place that I come to backpack, to camp, to explore. Anyways, everyone, oftentimes I come out here, I set up camp, I stay the night, and over the years, I've had a number of strange experiences. I spoke of those in episode 1, and I'm not going to speak of them again. I don't want to waste your time. So if you have questions about what's taking place here, watch episode 1. I have to admit, I wasn't really certain how the first episode would do. Talking about Bigfoot, this is a controversial subject, and it was one where I knew some people would be rolling their eyes and some people would be excited. From that first episode, my favorite comment was this. There was an individual, he stated that his wife was rolling her eyes and he was excited. I thought that was super funny. That's my favorite comment. I do want to say this, even though I'm a skeptic myself, I am open-minded enough to the possibility of Bigfoot being real that I'm willing to come out here to satisfy those who believe that Bigfoot's in this area. I'm willing to put in the time. We'll track the animals in the forest, we'll set up trail cams, we'll look for evidence. That's what this series is all about. Because of what we found in episode 1, I'm coming out here today with some trail cameras. We're going to hike to the top of this mountain, go back to those locations that I've marked on my GPS, and we will set up those cameras. And then in a couple of weeks, I will come back and check them. As I'm hiking along here, I'm looking for signs. I'm going slow, looking to see what I can come across. Already, I have found a few things. I found 2 locations where moss has been torn off of a tree. I also found some bark torn off of this tree. Now, unfortunately, because the forest is the way that it is, covered in this thick moss, I'm not going to be able to see footprints, foot tracks. So I have to pay attention to smaller details than that. It is a beautiful day. Right now it is 50 degrees. It's pretty warm, especially when you compare the conditions of today to the previous trip. The last time we were out here, the forest was covered in snow and ice. It was also raining. It's stuff like this that we have to pay attention to. So I came across this root that's exposed, and my question is, why is it exposed? And that's because something has come through here and torn the moss off of it. With the conditions for today, It looks beautiful, it is beautiful, but there are showers and thunderstorms surrounding me at the moment and also coming this direction. And because of that, I have my rain gear ready to go if I need it. With today's trip out here to the Green Forest, I'm not trying to follow my tracks from the previous trip exactly. And that's because that would be almost impossible to do. I can't track, I can't look for signs and stare at my phone at the same time. So I will be in the same rough area, the same vicinity, but that's about it. Now take a look at this, everyone. We have some coyote scat. You can see all of the fur. You can also see pieces of bone inside of this. We have some bone here and here. You might be able to hear that thunder. It's still rocking. That is deer scat. That is turkey scat. This is interesting. This is something I've noticed about this forest. And maybe you all could tell me what this means or what causes it. So pay attention to the moss here. You see this white spot? This is a piece of quartz. Why is it that I keep finding quartz rock on top of the moss? What does that mean? What causes that? It's not everywhere, but it's frequent enough for me to notice it. Since I'm here at this point, we have all of these fallen trees. Let's talk about this for a second. This brings up a really good point. So you could see all of these fallen trees, right? I received a lot of comments, a lot of questions about this, saying that I was overlooking evidence. That was evidence of Bigfoot. Unfortunately, my friends, fallen trees does not amount to anything, especially in a forest like this. This forest is extremely dense, and because it's so dense, everything in here is fighting for sunlight. There's plenty of moisture, there's not much light. Because it's so dense, there's a lot of death, a lot of broken, dead trees. And it's just a simple fact that these trees are falling down in the wind, and they will fall any which way. Piles and piles of dead, fallen trees. In a forest like this, it means absolutely nothing. But I am curious, what about that quartz rock? There's another one. If you see some sort of correlation between those rocks and Bigfoot, shoot me a message. I would appreciate it. Or if you have a good theory as to why there would be quartz rock on top of the moss, I'd like to hear it too. I think we're back onto the game trail where I found the bear poop. Comes this way and continues this direction. I'll get my phone out here in a second and confirm that, or confirm this location. Oh yeah, here it is. So we have this fallen tree with all of the moss scraped off. Another piece. Very interesting. Look at this, everyone. More quartz rock right on top of the moss. My theory is that with the moss growing up from the ground, maybe it picks up these little rocks and brings them to the surface. I don't know. That's the only thing I could come up with. Comment down below, share your thoughts. Is this completely natural, or is this a sign of something? Or is this a trail for something? That is camera number 1, my friends. Let me go ahead and mark this on my map here. Trail camera 1. Let's keep heading up, folks. Still hearing thunder. It's pretty dark. By the way, everyone, something else I received some messages about were piles of rocks. I'm not sure where those were seen at. I went through the video, I didn't see them, but unfortunately, piles of rocks don't count as evidence either when it comes to Bigfoot. This is a forest that people have been through. Obviously, not many people come to this area now, but there used to be some activity here. In fact, I've come across an old campsite. As you can see, it's covered in this moss, and this moss grows extremely slowly. That fire pit is decades old. I've even come across an old barbed wire fence. Let's focus on these fallen trees here for a second, and we'll talk about why this isn't evidence of anything. So we already spoken about how dense this forest is. At the same time, we are at high elevation for the East Coast, so we have sustained winds that are rather high all the time here. Plus you have to factor in snow loading. That's why you have fallen trees like this. That tree went down first, this one second, this one on top, and then you had this one go down. It may look strange, but in truth, there's nothing strange about it. Basically, what I want to find with this search is real evidence. Real evidence amounts to a clear video. That's what I need to believe in Bigfoot. Hearing something burst through the woods, that doesn't count. Hearing strange screams in the night, that doesn't count. Piles of rocks, sticks, doesn't count. You can hear that squeaking sound? It's making that noise because the tree is fractured. More thunder. This might be one of the spots I wanted to put a camera at. But we're close. This is a very impressive game trail here. You can see how it goes through, and then over here as well. Let's go ahead and let's put another camera here. Look at how all of this moss has been torn off. That's recent. And you can actually see claw marks right through here. Trail camera 2. Okay. It's set. The thing about this forest, everyone, with it being so dense, so thick, it can feel like somebody's out here watching you or something, and you're not going to know because you're not going to see them. Visibility is about 20 feet. That's about it. This is interesting, folks. While not recent, this fallen tree, which is quite large, has been moved. You could see here where the tree used to be, but now it lays over there. The same applies here. This piece has been moved. Someone rather strong moved that. That's interesting. Really interesting. So the trail forks, it goes this way and also this way. Because of that, I'm going to set up my trail cam right here and hopefully catch all of the action that's coming down this mountain. Trail camera 3. I wish I had more trail cameras, but unfortunately I don't. So I'm going to have to pick where the last one goes. Now there is that big clearing up in the forest, but I think for now I'm going to let that be. When I was up there, I didn't see any tracks or anything, so I have it marked on my map if I need to come back to it. What I want to do now is backtrack and head down the mountain. There's one more trail. If I can find it, that's what I want to put the trail camera on. The trail is very substantial. It's rather large. And it seemed like I had a lot of activity on it the last time I was here. So let's go back and let's put the camera there. Okay. Now, I did see one comment in the last video that I found very interesting. Somebody said that you can't use trail cameras to capture pictures of Bigfoot because Bigfoot has infrared vision. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that's so far out there, you know what I mean? Something that I've begun to notice is that a lot of people who believe in Bigfoot contribute like supernatural elements with the creature that explain why it's never been seen, captured on trail cameras, and so on. And a lot of it, unfortunately, just doesn't make any sense, at least for myself. If Bigfoot exists, it's an animal, it's a creature, and it doesn't have like psychic powers like some people state. More than likely, it doesn't have infrared vision, which allows for it to see trail cameras, like some have stated. You can see how the soil's been torn up. I had some people write in saying that like looking for Bigfoot is the same as like summoning a demon. That's their words. They said by going into the forest, I'm not going to find Bigfoot. Bigfoot is going to find me. Again, for myself, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Something's come through here, and it was large enough to take the moss off and also a chunk of wood. More than likely this was a deer, judging by the size of this. It's taken a chunk out here and a smaller piece over here. Whoa. Check this out. Look at the size of this piece of moss that's been torn off. Whatever's come through here was huge. Oh look, here's another patch. That's interesting. That is very, very large. That could have been caused by a black bear right there. You can see here, this is actually part of a trail, but it's not the trail that I was thinking of. The trail goes over here and also this way and funnels through here. I actually like the looks of this, so I'm going to set up that last trail cam right here. Hopefully capture whatever's going up and down through here. It is time for a water break. As it stands, all of the trail cameras have been put out. I've already been out here for about 2 hours, and I've only covered a little bit more than half a mile. That's how slow my pace is. That's how methodical I'm being. I almost forgot. I have to mark this. Trail camera 4. Something that's interesting, everyone, it just dawned on me that I haven't seen quartz on top of the moss at all. It's only in that one section over there. That's a little bit strange. I just don't know. I do not know. I am incredibly thankful that I've stayed dry so far on this trip. So far, so good. I'm so accustomed to going home with just like a ton of wet gear and clothing. This is actually pretty nice. Folks, I've come across something. This is interesting. Initially, I saw this nail. Check that out. 187. Here's another one. 191. 193. This one's laying on the ground. 5,231. Now, I know what these are. The question is, do you? This is what you would call a tree tag. Sometimes the Forestry Service use these. Researchers can use them. It's interesting. I would say this is part of a research project. I mean, they could be decades old. We have galvanized nails. These are made from aluminum. It's interesting. I wonder what exactly they're researching out here. Possibly the life cycle of these trees. I don't know. I don't see any more. It looks like it's just a small patch right in here. And that's it. That is interesting. You just never know what you're going to find in the forest. Well, everyone, I believe it is time to wrap up this adventure. This one's going to be short and sweet, to the point. We came out here, we dropped off the trail cameras, we set those up. Now it's time to wait. Make sure to comment down below and share your thoughts about the findings that we've had today. What do you all think about the pieces of quartz on top of the moss? That's strange, everyone. It's strange and I can't explain it. My question is, can you? Comment down below, shoot me an email, I do appreciate it. Oh, by the way, in the previous adventure, I had mentioned that after I had some experiences out here, some odd experiences, many of my viewers thought it could be Bigfoot. So I started looking up this area and I discovered that this area has a ton of Bigfoot reports. In the first episode, I shared one of those reports, and now I will share one more. So check this out, everyone. This county sheriff's department released a statement years ago, and it said that they had received a phone call from a local in the middle of the night. It was him, his wife, their child. They were cruising down the road and they saw something. They saw a creature standing up on two legs that was over 7 foot tall, and it was covered in hair. And the creature didn't move until they drove past it. That is a very interesting report. What do you all think about that? All right, folks, I am done. I'm going to go set up camp, have lunch. It's actually it's going to be a late lunch. It's about 4:30 now, so make sure to hit the thumbs up before you go. It does help the channel. Everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor. Also, make sure to keep it civil in the comment section. Again, this is a controversial subject. I get that. I do want to say this. With this series, I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. I mentioned before that I'm a skeptic, and I'm not going to try to change anyone's mind. People are going to believe what they want to believe, and I respect that. Anyways, everyone, be good, be safe, strength and honor.